Hare Krishna devotees, thank you for joining today. Just someone remember. Oh, link is not working.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Vinod Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada, Hare Krishna Prabhupada. So link worked for you all, right? No trouble.
Yeah, it worked. I'm using the mobile phone, but it worked.
Yeah, okay, let's get started. So today we'll not cover Srimad Bhagavatam. Instead, I just wanted to share the experience of visiting different places in India. When I was there in India last, almost half of July and half of August. I thought that will, inspire some of you to go to those places. I was very much rejuvenated during this trip, spiritually, as well as, emotionally, because I met my parents after a long time, stayed with them for some time. Definitely was very refreshing. So most of the days actually I was traveling different places, but I was, for half the places my parents were with me. So that was a good experience to go with parents and in-laws and family. So we started with Tirupati. How many of you have been to Tirupati?
I have been, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I hope.
Yes, same here.
Yeah.
I have been.
A lot of South Indians definitely do it, and many North Indians also do it, especially if you're associated with Iskcon, definitely at some point you would go. So Tirupati trip, we primarily stayed in Sri Radha Govinda Mandir, which is in Tirupati, down the hill. The Iskcon Temple is extremely magnificent, very beautiful temple. And Radha Govindji along with Ashtasakis were there. You can see each of them there, they really look like personalities. You can express your heart to them. I had a wonderful experience there. Stayed like 2 days. So first day half day we were there. Accommodation is also very nicely arranged because the whole accommodation there is like that. Basically from within the accommodation you can cross over the bridge to enter the main hall of the temple. It's a nice arrangement for devotees who stay in Iskcon Temple. Most of our stay was in Iskcon Temple, and going around different places. We also went to Tirumala to see Balaji. We had very good darshan. My parents also felt very happy with the darshan, and also the time they spent in our Iskcon Temple, Tirupati Temple. Temple is always active and energetic, and you see all the pilgrims who visit the Tirumala Temple, they all visit here as well. So almost it's always crowded and full of people, full of devotees. Radha Govindji, the new temple started in 2007. Previously there was a smaller temple. The whole temple was managed and constructed primarily by the Lakshmi collected via book distribution, Prabhupada books distribution, because the temple president, Revati Raman Prabhu, he had very good relationship with the Tirumala temple. The Tirumala authorities, they actually allowed Iskcon Tirupati to basically distribute our Iskcon literature in all important places in Tirumala Hills. So that's what allowed us to have a new temple constructed by the money collected from them. They are very good at book distribution. And then we went to Tirumala. Next day, we had very good darshan. Of course, it took like 6 hours total because after pandemic, the crowds have increased a lot. But overall, we are very happy with the darshan we had. We just stayed half a day there because we felt the accommodation and the place around Iskcon is much convenient for elders, so we came down. Iskcon has a Goshala. We didn't have time to visit the place, but we come to know about all the details of that. They have 500 cows there, and they are very good at midday meal program, meaning they distribute prasadam every single day to about 50,000 people. 50,000 meals they serve every single day. Because a lot of Indians cannot afford meal, and because they can't afford meal, they don't let the children to go to school and get educated, primary education. So even the starvation deaths I heard in India still it's in millions every year. So Iskcon primarily took up this service of free midday meal supported by government. Government pays to Iskcon, and Iskcon at a very, very cheap cost they support almost entire India. They support midday meal program. And Tirupati is doing extremely well. They do 50K meals. I went to their kitchen. It's a very well equipped kitchen that can cook for 50,000 plates every day. This is Balaji. And we also visited in Tirupati. In Tirupati, we visited Govardhana Temple and a few other places around there. Alvel Mangapuram, and then Kalahasti, couple of places we went. Yeah. So next one is, want to spare more time here. So Mayapur was the next trip for us. So this is the one that you see there. This is the world's biggest temple. I don't recollect the height, but it's almost the second highest height in terms of height as well. There is only one cathedral in Rome or somewhere that's higher than this. But overall, temple-wise, the inner temple, if you see the inner temple here, right? We had a tour of the temple as well. It's like maybe 5-6 cinema theaters, you can say. It's a humongous temple. By the way, for Mayapur, we flew first to Howrah, Howrah, what do you call air station, and then from there, it's about 4-hour drive on road to reach Mayapur. It's a very secluded and very calm area. The whole atmosphere, you can feel fully surcharged with spiritual energy. The temple is going to open, I believe, next year, mostly, if not next to next year. But the whole construction was looked after by Alfred Ford. His name is Ambarish Prabhu. He's an American disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He comes in the line of Henry Ford, the starter of Ford company. But he dedicated his life completely for serving Prabhupada and Lord. Right? So his main service is to build this temple. And the cost of the temple is 800 crores. Yeah, so it's coming up very beautifully. We had a nice tour of the inner side of the temple. It was breathtaking to see. And even now, every day 10,000 people visit this place. So there is a smaller temple. I mean, compared to this, but it's also a huge temple. But compared to this, it's 1/4 of this temple. That is now currently hosting the deities. I'll show the deities now. So this is the panoramic view of the whole area. You see here, this is the main temple. Behind that is the older temple. And all these are accommodations for devotees to stay. They're all named Bhavan, right? Gada Bhavan, Gita Bhavan, like that. And it caters to all ranges of people, from very poor to very rich. You find very good prasadam, and you get everything here. Anything you wanted in terms of books or clothing, everything you will find here. It's amazing. And these are the main deities, Panchatattva. You see here, Panchatattva. They are huge Panchaloha deities. This is Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, and Srivas Thakur. This is close-up picture of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Nityananda Prabhu, and this is Advaita Acharya. Humongous deities. And all these deities would be shifted to the new temple once the construction completes end of next year. And it's a huge hall if you visit the place. Yeah. And there is the prominent Narsinghya Temple just by the side of Panchatattva. Lord Narsinghya primarily manifested to protect Mayapur temple. That was the reason he was installed. And the whole appearance of Lord Narsinghya itself was a big story. Devotees were, there were a lot of burglary going on in the temple, and a lot of devotees there were, very young and innocent. So they needed, they took the suggestion of Prabhupada on how to protect themselves, and Prabhupada recommended to install this Ugra Narsinghya. You see the Narsinghya form is like this. Right? This is Ugra Narsinghya. It is right at the time of killing Hiranyakashipu. So once the deity was installed, I mean the whole making up the deity itself is a big story on how he manifested. There was a very so they had to find one South Indian who can do this, because it cannot be done by anybody. Ugra Narsinghya cannot be done by anyone, and there is just one person who could do it. And that person, when he was approached to basically carve the deity of Lord Narsinghya, he said he needs at least 1 year. But devotees were, they were in urgency because there is so much problem in the temple. They needed quick help. So they requested him, and he was, first thing is he had to find a, the correct rock where life is there, right? So there is a test for finding whether there is life in the rock, right? So he had to perform for several months. He had to work on it, and finally he got the Shila where Narsinghya can manifest. And he took another 6 to 8 months to carve this deity form. And finally, he was ready, and they were about to be brought, and he was still inside hut where he was being made. He started manifesting himself, and suddenly there was fire in that hut, and the entire hut got burnt to it. And then the Sthapati who made this deity, he said, you have to take the deity fast because he's already burning everything here. So finally he was brought to Mayapur, and he was installed very pompously. And the devotees who worship him, they're all Naistic brahmacharis. Have to be, very high, strict standards of worship has to be followed for Narsinghya. Since he was installed, he protected and saved so many devotees. So many stories are there. I just kept here a ebook. This talks about some recent pastimes of Lord Narsinghya. You can all be inspired by the stories of how reciprocative Lord is to the devotees. So at one point, I just tell one story. there was one brahmachari who serves Lord Narsinghya Dev, every day. But he was always a little bit afraid. Somehow he was afraid of the form of the Lord. And one day he was just sleeping outside the temple hall. It was late night. Suddenly, he was just about to take rest. Suddenly there was great effulgence in the room, and he just suddenly woke up. And on his bed was Lord Narsinghya sitting on the side. And then he was totally shaken up. And he asked Lord, Narsinghya, he was like totally timid. And then Lord Narsinghya put his hand on his back and he told, you never need to be afraid. You are just serving me. Like that he told him. And then he left from there. And the devotee who had this experience, he was just jumping up and down whole day. That whole evening he couldn't speak coherently. And there were marks of the Lord's nails on the back of the devotee. That is just one experience. I mean, he saved so many devotees. In my own life, I had a couple of experiences. I can share later. But so he is, really Bhaktavatsala. He is very protective for his devotees. And many devotees from here also, whenever they have any tough challenges, they actually offer their prayers to Lord Narsinghya, and he protects them and brings them to spiritual path. Okay? That's what happens. My father was, he had a brain hemorrhage in 2010, and he was in coma for almost 4 days. Doctor said it was hopeless and it may take months for him to come out of coma because there are no symptoms at all. But we had faith in Narsinghya Dev, and we were doing Narsimha Kavacham every day. Continuously we were praying to Lord Narsinghya Dev. Our hope is that he comes to life and continues his devotion service, and that is our duty then, as a child, and as well as we had to do whatever is available in our circumstances. And then we requested the pujaris of Narsinghya Dev to offer special prayers, and they offered on the 4th day. And that immediate day, that day itself, evening, he woke up and was totally cured within like few days. I mean, the only symptom that is left was just weakness. Doctors checked, and he said, my father can leave the hospital. They were even surprised. The main doctor was totally surprised that he suddenly just woke up, and he was quite normal within a week after that. Yeah, so that's one story. That's my personal experience. And since then, my father every single day chants Narsimha Kavacham. Until then, we used to tell him to chant Hare Krishna. He would never do that, but now he chants every day. So, in a way, he had gotten spiritual life after this incident. That was very faith-giving to him as well as for all of us. And there are so many such stories of devotees who were protected by Lord. Even my daughter, Tulsi Priya, when she was in Mohini Sundari's womb, we had similar problem. Basically, she was, we had her have the pregnancy test, when the baby is 2 months in the womb. That time, it was all fine. In the 3rd month, she had severe stomach ache, and when we went to hospital, they said there's something serious with the baby, and most likely the womb had serious issue and it has to be taken out. The baby has to be taken out. So that's what they told. And then actual surgery happened, and after the surgery it was realized that it is just appendicitis. It's not anything with the baby in the womb. But Mohini Sundari had very high fever during that time. And so she was given antibiotics and she lost her weight. She was like, for 1 full week, she was in hospital. And she was taking all kinds of medicines. At the end of, seventh day, the doctor said, you mentioned that your wife was pregnant. It is better we terminate the pregnancy because she has taken all the kinds of medicines, and there are high chances that there will be some problems with the pregnancy because we haven't had a child go through such kind of medicines at that age, like 2 months period, right? So it is better to prevent the problem right away because it's still in the early stages. And we checked with devotees. Devotees, of course, they never suggested to go for abortion. So we said, like, whatever happens, we'll just take care of it, no worries. And then after that, then she just did, we went for another checkup. She was again pushing for that because she did the laparoscopy, appendicitis. She said, I'm going to get an injection and give to your wife and terminate this. The reason is again same thing, like, but we were praying to Lord Narsinghya all this while. Every day she would read Simhachalam and pray to Narsinghya to protect if the baby is there, right? And then we did another check, and the test came negative. The doctor said, you don't need anything now because because I think somehow during appendicitis itself, the pregnancy is lost or something, but she doesn't have any pregnancy. Then we felt, okay, no problem, let's move on. And then we are back. After again 5th month, she was having some, some symptoms that there is something going on in the stomach. And then we again went for test. Now again, the test came that she's pregnant. Then we realized maybe the first thing was continuing. The first first time whoever the pregnancy is still continuing. That's what our realization was, because it's already 5th month for the baby. We went to the same doctor. She said, you did a big mistake now. It's beyond our hands. We will continue and see what happens. We were just praying to Lord and have full faith that Lord would protect her. And then we continued, but we were also having some confusion, doubt, because it's not easy, right? And pregnancy continued, everything was fine. 9th month, finally she delivered. We were all like worried. It might be she might have some mental issues or physical issues, or limbs won't be formed, or so many doubts we had. But when the baby was born, there is no issues, zero issues. We were all thankful and grateful to Lord Narsinghya that he really saved through the situation. A lot of devotees prayed for her during this whole whole event, but she has zero issues. Doctor herself was totally surprised by this whole incident. Now she's 13 years, perfectly all right, Tulsi Priya. We treat her as child of Narsinghya. That's our personal experience. You can read a lot more stories of Lord Narsinghya in this book. I'm going to share this. Is Sri Jagannath of Rajapur, another prominent Iskcon temple in Mayapur, about 20 minutes from the main temple. The main temple is in Antardvipa. The whole area is Navadvipa, 9 islands are there. And Sri Jagannath of Rajapur is about 20 minutes drive from the main temple. And he is extremely beautiful. If you go see him, I mean, the picture is great, but if you see him, you can't turn your face away. Especially Subhadra was So charming, very realistic. And we were there for Kirtan in the evening, and we returned from there. And the deities were actually brought from Puri. They were actually original deities in Puri. In 17th century, there was one king during whose rule the king was not pious. He was causing some problems in the area. So that time, Lord came in a dream. He told the Pujari, "Don't be afraid. Nobody can do anything." But just to reciprocate with the devotees' feelings, to protect the Lord, Lord said, "Okay, anyway, you can take me to Mayapur." So that's how the deities of Rajapur came directly from Puri to Mayapur, West Bengal. So earlier the temple was managed by other people, but I think about 20 years back, 30 years back, they handed over to Iskcon Temple. Now our temple pujaris take care of it. This is Yoga Pita. We visited there. It is the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. There's a beautiful temple there. This is the neem tree under which Lord Chaitanya was born. You see the neem tree, you can still, it's there. This is the temple of Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, parents of Lord Chaitanya. So this is Lord Chaitanya in the hands of Sachi Mata. Sachi Mata, Sri Jagannath Mishra. These are the deities of the temple. Yogapit Mayapur, Sri Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Radha Mama, Kaur Sundar, Sri Lakshmi Priya and Vishnu Priya. These were the two wives before Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. The first one was Lakshmi Priya. After she passed away, Vishnu Priya is the Panchatattva. So, Yoga Pita. And then we visited, there are a lot of places. We visited Godruma Dvipa. There are 9 Dvipas, I said. I mean, the whole, if you want to do a full tour of all the pilgrimage sites there, it will take easily about 20 days, I would say. But we could only go for Godruma Dvipa, one of the closest one to Antardvipa, where the main Iskcon Temple is there. From there we went to this is part of Godruma Dvipa. There you find the home where actually Bhaktivedanta Thakur is the father of Guru of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's Guru is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and his father is Bhaktivedanta Thakur. He was also a great Guru, and he was the one who actually spread Gaudiya Vaishnavism all around Bengal very prominently. He was a great preacher. So this is his home, and his schedule was meticulous. Very, it's not humanly possible. He would just sleep for 2 hours. Rest of the day he would be, either preaching or reading or or writing songs or excavating, finding out different places of important prominence. So this is his home. You see here, this is the table on which he used to work, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, and this is the bed where he used to rest. So this is on the by side, I think this is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur bed, who is the Guru of Srila Prabhupada. Right? This is Chaitanya Math. This is the main temple of Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was the Guru of Srila Prabhupada. Gaudiya Math's headquarters, Sri Chaitanya Math. These were the deities there. You find a nice garden there. These are the dvipas of Navadvipa. Sri Mayapur is the center. You see them? Yogapit is here. And then Simanta Dvipa, Godruma Dvipa. This is the only place we visited. Right. Madhya Dvipa, Kola Dvipa, Ritu Dvipa, Jahnu Dvipa, Modrum Dvipa, Rudra Dvipa. So you can visit, I mean, this is like a lotus here, you see. Yeah, we could visit only one of them. And we spent like 3 days there in Mayapur. And one full day we were just in the main temple itself. Main temple, and we saw the temple of the new temple, the whole the tour of the temple. And then second day we went to all these places around. There is we also in Gautam Dvipa there are 4 or 5 places. The Suvarna Vihar we went, and there is another very prominent old Narsinghya Temple there. We visited there as well. Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, another thing you want to visit for sure is Srila Prabhupada Pushpa Samadhi. It's a magnificent place. There's a big lake before that, and the whole atmosphere is, you feel like Prabhupada was really sitting there. You can pray to him. It's a breathtaking sight. Definitely want to spend a good amount of time there. There is the whole temple has all kinds of exhibits of various activities of Srila Prabhupada, very prominently displayed. You can tour the whole place for about a couple of hours, but you really feel connected to Srila Prabhupada if you visit here. Right. So in Mayapur, when Prabhupada first time he came, or not first time, meaning first time after coming from America, right? After returning from America, when he wanted to start the headquarters in 1975-76, there was nothing, no construction. The land is fully vacant. Then devotees constructed this hut, small hut here, you see. Prabhupada stayed in this hut, and he would direct all the devotees in various ways to construct this whole temple. And he would look at in this direction and say there should come a big temple. That was one reason the new temple, the temple of Vedic Planetarium, was constructed in a place where Prabhupada can really see from there, right? So devotees still understand that Prabhupada is still here and he would be watching here. And so they constructed this new temple right across here, even though we have much better land in the middle, just for fulfilling the Prabhupada's desire. This the whole TOV was constructed right in the back of this hut. Again, this place is another breathtaking sight. Even though it looks so simple here, fully surcharged with spiritual energy, and non-stop Harinam Sankirtan goes on in this place. And you find the bed of Srila Prabhupada in the hut, and these were the deities worshipped by Srila Prabhupada every day when he was in Mayapur. He was there for a few months, and he would be here, and he would be worshipping the deities here, Govardhan. His Bhajan Kutir of Srila Prabhupada. Yep, so that is Mayapur. We had one devotee with us. His name is Sri Venugopal Prabhu, and we had a very good time because of him, because he was available and taking care of everything for us. We are very grateful for his help. So next we visited Govardhana Village. I flew directly from Kolkata airport to Mumbai. Myself and Tulsi Priya, we both were there. Others couldn't continue because they're already tired. They wanted some rest. So we continued. We visited Govardhana Village. Govardhana Village is after you get down in Mumbai airport, it's about 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive from the airport. And you can only go via devotees, because if you go and book a taxi, you can't really go there because nobody really knows this place. It's far out, so you need to be in touch with devotees and get a transport vehicle and then travel there. So the idea of Govardhana Village is, basically it was the dream project of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He wanted a replica of Vrindavan in Mumbai. If you see Vrindavan, especially you after reading Krishna book, you go to Vrindavan and try to experience what you read. You won't experience because there is a lot of pollution now. You can't really experience the descriptions. In Krishna book, you read like there are these flower gardens everywhere. There are these beautiful lakes, fruit-bearing trees everywhere. That's how you read. But you go there, you see beautiful temples, but the atmosphere doesn't look the same for the material life. For those who are spiritually advanced, they still experience the same thing. But Govardhana Village is made such that even people who are not so advanced can experience real Vrindavan. That's the idea behind Govardhana Village. The place you are seeing here is, Radha Kund here. So all the prominent temples, all the 12 vanas of, 12 forests of Vrindavan are here in this place. So this is the map. See, this is Govardhana Village map. It's a perfect replica of real Vrindavan. Vrindavana is at the center here. Barsana. You see, the temples of Barsana here. And then Gokul Mahavan, right? Madura, Yamuna. This is Yamuna River, right? So you see all the Radha Madan Mohan temple here. All the temples are here. Bhajan Kutirs are here of all the great Vaishnavacharyas. Samadhis are there, and all the temples are here. You see, all these places are listed here. And the deities there were known as Sri Radha Vrindavan Vihari. And they're extremely charming. There is nothing in the world. Once you go to the temple, you would just stay there. You can't just turn your face away. Extremely, extremely beautiful temple. Actually, I forgot to show Radha Madhava temple in Mayapur. Radha Madhava is world's most beautiful deities, for my eyes, at least I would say. Really, really. And in the same line is Sri Radha Vrindavan Vihari of GEV. Both Mayapur deities, Radha Madhava and Radha Vrindavan Vihari, the dressing was done, you feel realistic. Everything is realistic there. Nothing too much, nothing too less. This is Lord Gauranga there. You see here? Gauranga is here. You have to see to get the experience. I can't describe in words. Radharani, so realistic. We had every day morning, in Mayapur as well as Tirupati, the Mangalarti happens at 4:30. So we get ready by 4 and go and have be ready for Mangalarti during all the time when we visited these temples. You must attend Mangalarti. You feel so much spiritual energy there. And you would find in Govardhana Village about 30-40 brahmacharis would be there in the morning. I was there on Balram Purnima, and Gaurang Prabhu was there, and Gaurang Darshan Prabhu was there, my teacher. It was good. I did Abhishek there. Gaurang Darshan Prabhu would pour, and I would be doing Abhishek. Maybe one of the most memorable experience. Gaurang Prabhu, along with Gaurang Prabhu and others. Prabhu would be there with us every lunch for all the 3 days. Madhachandra Prabhu came, who is from Seattle, and also Balaram Leela Prabhu, just to see me, he came. So it was a good reunion. Radhika Mataji and the kids came. Madhachandra Prabhu, Mataji and kids came. There was some event for kids at the same time, retreat for kids for 3 days. So they all came and we went there. It was a very good time, with devotees as well as with Gaurang Prabhu, all the 3 days. So we were, the whole day would go fully filled with spiritual activities. Morning Mangala Arati, and then and then we chant for 2 hours in the assembly of all these Vaishnavas, Gaurang Prabhu, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, Vasudev Prabhu, all, most prominent devotees across Iskcon were all there. It was very enlightening and very spiritually powerful experiences. All the 3 days were like that for me, especially in GEV. The whole atmosphere is out of the world. You won't find it's completely, you really feel that you are in a very powerful place. I haven't felt the same thing in Mayapur, mainly because there is some good number of crowd, but here you can really feel that. There's the descriptions you hear about Vrindavan, all these blossoming flowers, waterfalls everywhere, greenery, trees, all the beautiful birds. You would experience all of that in GE. So if you are visiting India, you must visit this place. This is Radha Madan Mohan Temple. This is exact replica of Vrindavan's Radha Madan Mohan Temple. And the temple was constructed with red sandstone. That was so even with the Vrindavan temple. So they followed exact model in everything, like Vrindavan. Even if the temple name board is made such that it's an exact copy of the temple, name board of Vrindavan. Right? The deities exactly look like this in Vrindavan. Of course, the original deities were moved to Rajasthan, Jaipur, yeah. So the Pujari of Radha Madan Mohan once visited Govardhana Village, and he saw the deities of Sri Radha Madan Mohan Ji, and he mentioned that finally Radha Madan Mohan Ji is back in Vrindavan. The reason is, after Radha Madan Mohan went to Jaipur, they made a replica copy of Radha Madan Mohan Ji in the current temple in Vrindavan. But this Radha Madan Mohan Ji is a perfect replica. There's no difference between the original deity and the deity here, the deity in GV. So the Pujari said, finally, because this is equivalent to Vrindavan, the Pujari said, finally Radha Madan Mohan Ji is back in his place. Right? So the deities here, they are again very, very reciprocative with the devotees who serve them. I saw some devotees there. Their whole meditation is about just serving them every single day. That's all. And Mangalarti happens in Radha Vrindavan Vihari first. And the whole crew goes to do Mangalarti at Radha Madan Mohan Temple. So everybody climbs these stairs here and they reach here, the temple here. And then Mangalarti happens here. And the deities here, you see here. And you find also Giri Govardhan here. And there are many pastimes of Giri Govardhan. He is very, very, again, kind to the devotees and very reciprocative. I'll tell some, see Giri Govardhan ji here. He's extremely beautiful, extremely beautiful. And many devotees have so many stories with the deity of Sri Giri Govardhan. So there was, I'll just relate one story. It happened recently. So every, Giriraj likes to have this, he likes to have garlands every day, either Tulsi garland. His most likable garland is called Gunjamala. Gunjas are actually like fruits, like buds, and they have to be cut at the right time so that they are in the right shape for making a garland. And those gunjas are available in the entire year for a very short period. So one day, Lord, Giri Govardhan ji, he came in the mind of the devotee serving him, and he prompted him to, provide these Gunjamala. So our Pujari, his name is, he is a Telugu devotee. His name is Sri Chaitanya Kripa Prabhu. So he only related this story to us. No, not him. Another devotee he didn't tell. So he was, trying to arrange for this Gunjamala because it was the desire of the Lord. And he requested this with so many devotees. A lot of devotees are on the, are making, trying to arrange this Gunjamala. But it was taking time. So in the meantime, one day, one very old lady, she got this Gunjamala to the temple and offered to Sri Chaitanya Kripa Prabhu. He was so happy because finally, he was trying himself, but he couldn't get anything. He was so happy, he didn't even ask anything, just took from her and, kept it on Lord. And he told the devotees, okay, now the Gunjamala is arranged. And the devotees asked him, hey, you asked us for a long time, we are trying to get it. How is that Mataji got it? How is that old Mataji got this Gunjamala? Chaitanya Kripa Prabhu felt, oh really, that's a good question. I didn't even ask. Let me go and ask her what was the story behind. So he goes and asks that lady, she's a sweeper actually. Every day she comes and sweeps the temple. So she was, like, it's like any other day, she came and she's sweeping and Prabhu went there to her and she asked her, Mataji, how are you able to, arrange this Gunjamala? She was crying tears and she said, Lord, Giriraj, he came in my dream and he asked me to arrange this himself. And he also indicated where to get everything. And she herself went there and she arranged everything. So that was stunning to the Pujari and everybody there because they all dedicated their life, but this simple lady with her simplicity and simple service, she was able to please Giriraj so much that he came in her dream and told her to arrange this from this place, right? That was one story. Another story, one time our Pujari, so this deity was very, very old and was maintained by a Vrajavasi, the deity of Giri Govardhan, in their family. Right? And when they came to visit Govardhana Village, they felt very inspired and they were ready to hand over Giriraj to them, but they were telling him, hey, you should nicely take care of him. He is like a child. You should, dress him nicely. Every day he likes nice dresses. You should feed him nicely. To take care of him nicely. Chaitanya Prabhu and others, they said, yes, we will take care nicely and we'll serve him nicely. After 6 months or so, he went back to again Vrindavan just for some other trip he went. And the devotees who gave him, they came before him. When he met them, they were so upset with him. They kept on saying, you are not taking good care of him, Giriraj. He was complaining every day that you are not taking good care. So in this way, the Vrajavasis told him you should take good care of him. You should give him a nice new dress every day. Not new dress, fresh dress, and he wanted a chadar every day. You cannot just leave him without chadar like that. So some arrangements Lord was asking, and the pujari was told. And then after that, he realized I need to be very careful with him. And I talked to him for half an hour. The whole 30 minutes, he was just talking about how, what are the arrangements he's trying to do and for serving the Lord. And just kept on so many things he has to say about the Lord. Completely, his mind was filled with service for, Giri. And he was actually planning to arrange for Chandan for the Lord. During summer, they offer Chandan. And he wanted to offer the best Chandan to the Lord. And that Chandan, which is available only in one place in India. And last time it was arranged by Gaur Gopal Prabhu. Gaur Gopal Prabhu, you all know, is a very prominent Iskcon brahmachari, right? So he had a very deep connection with Giriraj. Whenever he goes before him, he gets some reciprocation from Giriraj. Either some flower falls or some leaf falls or something. Something happens to see that there is some live interaction between the two. So he is very much connected to Lord Giriraj. And every day, whenever the first picture is taken of the Giriraj, it is generally sent to our Gaur Gopal Prabhu because he want to have the darshan, the first darshan of Lord. Yeah. So there is this is Yamuna Aarti. At the time when we went there, because of the seasonal thing, they couldn't do Yamuna Aarti because it's continuously raining at the time. But during summer, they do this Yamuna Aarti. The Yamuna Aarti is equivalent to Yamuna Aarti in Vrindavan. Right? This is the podium where the Yamuna Aarti happens. So Vrindavan Vihari Temple architecture is breathtaking. See, on the side of the temple, even though the temple is small in size, you see, it's all open temple. But this is sandstone carved. You see entire pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam here. So the whole, all the three sides of the temple were the carvings of the pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam on one side, the other side was the entire 10th canto pastimes of Lord Krishna. So it is amazing, very beautiful. You see the fine carvings on the temple. You should see to the experience. I mean, I can show the pictures, but if you see, you will really feel the meticulous work done there. It's an open temple. See, all the brahmacharis, class happens like this. This is Devamrit Maharaj. This is the deities. Devotees sit here. It's a huge place. But the whole atmosphere, you will, it's completely spiritually surcharged. You will see all kinds of trees all around. All the prominent temples are here. You see, this is the temple of Radharani's birthplace. All are built in red sandstone or white marble. There is the Radha Damodar temple where Prabhupada actually stayed. So they built a Prabhupada room also. Just like there was a Prabhupada room preserved in Vrindavan Dham, the room was again built for Prabhupada in this place as well. I didn't have the Radha Damodar temple here. They have a very nice Ayurvedic retreat center. It was all done very prayerfully. So I went for massage and Malchandra Prabhu asked me to experience everything. So I just went with him for everywhere. So they offer first a prayer before actually starting the treatment. They have a Goshala also. A lot more cows are there actually. Very nice accommodation. The devotee care is excellent beyond imagination. And really devotees really care there. There was Yajnashala there. You must experience that Yajnashala. The yajna starts they do daily yajna in the morning at 6 o'clock. It goes on for 1 full hour. You will experience what is a Vedic yajna really is. Every finest details are maintained there. Sri Gauracharan Prabhu, and there are a few other devotees. But if you experience that, you feel something very different there. You must experience at least. We were there for actually I attended 3 yajnas there on all the 3 days. Every day I used to go for that. Yeah. Yeah. So that was GEV. The experience was and multiplied because of the presence of Gaurang Prabhu. And he also took us to Sri Katyayani Temple personally to her. Katyayani is Mother Durga, but she is Yogamaya. She is not Mahamaya. She is the spiritual internal potency of the Lord. There was a temple for Katyayani in the Govardhana village. She was Dham protector. Earlier, when Govardhana village was initially started in 2009, there were a lot of issues in the beginning because the Govardhana village land was originally a different worship was going on in that place. It was used for some other worship. And I mean, when the temple started, nobody really knew what was happening before. So they just went about, restarting the whole thing, making the land plain and changing the whole place of worship, right? To build the Vrindavan. So there were a lot of issues, financial and health, all kinds of challenges are going on. Then the devotees realized there must be something going wrong here. Otherwise, why would there be so many troubles here? Then they inquired astrologically and they found that there was another place of worship here. And because we are replacing, we need to, take some precautions. The astrologer recommended to build this Katyayani Mandir to protect the Dham of Govardhan. And since she was installed, there were no more issues. All challenges were subsided. Everything was running very smooth since. And we went with Gaurang Prabhu. I really felt very powerful experience there. I told Prabhuji also. It was amazing experience. You can see the deity was very different. You won't find in any, Durga temple like that. She's very powerful. If you get a chance, you should visit that place in GEV. That was our Govardhana Village. So from Govardhana Village, we took a taxi directly to go to Chowpatty, Mumbai. Iskcon Chowpatty is another magnificent Iskcon temple. It's not a huge temple. It's very, very small temple. But the beauty of deities is out of the world. This is Radha Gopinathji, Srinathji, and Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You will find a real Govardhan here. The whole Vrindavan atmosphere in the background, and all the monkeys, cows, all arranged such that it's really Vrindavan. That is the atmosphere that was presented there. I primarily went there to visit to meet his great Shubhilash Prabhu, my close friend. So he was there. So I spent like an hour with him, and then I moved on. It's just a half day in Chowpatty, and then I started for Pune, Iskcon Pune. Iskcon Pune is about 30 minutes drive from the railway station of Pune Temple. Pune. These Pune Temple deities, Radha, Vrindavan, Chandra. If you visit Mumbai, you must visit Pune because it's only like 3 hours on train, local train. It's every few hours you will have. GV, Pune, and Chowpatty. All of them can be visited with few hours of effort, but they're all worthy visiting. Not just as a just to see the deities, but to actually interact with the devotees there, because that's what really changes your heart. The Vaishnava etiquette, sadachar, and the Vaishnava behavior, the dealings, the teachings, out of the world. You really have to see to experience it. So this is Radha Vrindavan Chandra, Gaur Nitai, Sri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. Huge temple. This is another large temple. So we were staying in a very nice accommodation. By the way, I went by the invitation of His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu to here, and by Gaurang Prabhu to GEV. Both were very, very receptive, and even Radheshyam Prabhu was there touring the entire temple with me. It was a very wonderful experience. I was stunned by his attitude and approach, the way he was serving. He made a schedule for me, even though I was just a regular devotee. But that's the kind of care he does. That is his greatness. So one devotee accompanies him here. His name is Sri Gopal Prabhu. He was there with me all the time while I was there. So the accommodation was arranged such that it is well within the campus, and you can walk way directly to the temple hall across, crossing a bridge. So I attended the Mangalarti in the morning. That was another breathtaking Mangalarti because there were about 700 devotees right in the temple hall at morning 4:30. 700. Temple was, it's out of the world. The experience was really out of the world. And then, this is the temple there. The story of how the temple came about is another historical, very historical. So there was you see the temple here, the deity here, Balaji. So Balaji was actually worshipped by another Sri Vaishnava in Pune. He doesn't know Iskcon. He's just a regular, Vaishnava, Sri Vaishnava. He was from Pune, and he was aging, and he wanted the deity to be taken care by somebody nicely. He was looking for a he was looking for some place where the deity would be taken care very nicely. He was visiting all the places in Pune. He was never satisfied. He spent like months going around different places in early 2000s. And then finally he came to the old small temple of Iskcon in camp. There he saw the temple standards. There he saw the way the devotees are taking care of the deities, and the way they were doing sadhana and sadachar. He was very, very impressed. But he didn't immediately agree. He was visiting the temple for next 6 months just to see whether this is a feature of every day or not. So he visited the temple for next 6 months and making sure that the devotees are equally caring every time to the deities and to the Vaishnavas. Then he felt comfortable, and then he requested, can your temple take care of Sri Balaji? And our devotees, inquired the authorities, and they, they finally agreed to take the ownership of Balaji. But then, what about the temple? Balaji means he should be worshipped very gorgeously. There is no temple. Then, in his will, he had written that after I pass away, my home can be sold, and whatever money comes from it, that money can be used to construct a temple for Balaji and the Radhakrishna temple. So after 2 years, he passed away, and the house was sold. About 1.5 crores was raised in early 2000s, and that money was used to to buy the land near Kondwa Junction. About 7 acres land was purchased in the name of Iskcon, and they constructed this beautiful Radha Vrindavan Chandra temple, and also a dedicated temple for Balaji. You see on the side here, that is Balaji temple on the side. It's a gorgeous temple. Both temples are, this is little back, but it was perfect South Indian temple. And the deity of Balaji was installed there. And after that, devotees raised further money, about I think 7 to 8 crores further, to build the rest of the temples. The deity is extremely beautiful, and he is life size. And he was maintaining this life size deity in his home, the Brahmana, before. And it was informed to us that the deity of Balaji is a perfect replica of Balaji of Balaji of Tirupati, Tirumala uphill Balaji looks exact in form and shape as the Balaji of Iskcon Pune. So it was wonderful experience for us. We were there on Janmashtami here. We were there in Balram Jayanti in GEV, and on Janmashtami day we were here in NVCC temple. And the arrangements done by devotees were extremely good. And yeah, especially Balaji, you just cannot take your face, turn your face away from him. So royal, so beautiful. You have to go and see Balaji here. So this is the temple here. On the side here, I think this is an old picture. On the side here was the Brahmachari ashram, and above that was the temple school. It's called Bhaktivedanta Model School. I met the principal there and the teachers there. So they really run a real devotee school, meaning they work through the material of the textbooks and make it completely devotional. For example, in our math algebra book, we see like, Peter, Peter threw 5 stones here and, finally collected, and then he collected 2 stones. And then what is the remaining, like that, you see the questions, right, for children. Here, everything is, devotional, meaning all the characters were from Ramayana, like Ram threw five arrows, out of which 2 hit this tree. How many are hit on the other tree, like that. So the whole content was modified in such a way that you were reminded of, Lord all the time, not just math, even the science. They take away the content that is, non-devotional and keep the content that is, add additional content as required to make them understand the devotional aspect of it, higher truth, higher reality. They really worked book by book, every class, every material. So I felt like, these are the devotees. They really mean it. When they mean it's a devotee school, they really, really do work to make it really a devotee school. And all the teachers are devotees. And everything is meticulously planned there. Like there are dedicated devotees who improve the material. There are dedicated devotees who, arrange for games for the kids. Everything is there. They are the best in everything. They learn all the chapters of Bhagavad Gita by 10th grade thoroughly. They understand philosophy thoroughly. Everything is first class. And at the end of it, 10th class, they are the best in the entire state. Like the regular score also, they are the best in the entire state. So in that way, they are neither materially deprived of anything. Spiritually surcharged, totally, like there is no comparison, with those kids. They're good at Sanskrit. They know thoroughly the scriptures. They understand philosophy. They know slokas. They are good at math, science. I felt like, this is out of the world. This is a different place. This is a school for all devotee kids, and also outsiders also come. There was one school dedicated for only boys. It's a Gurukula, which is about 40 miles from the temple here. And we went there also to see Gurukula. There they are raised in perfect Gurukula environment. There will be cows, animal, horses. Children were very effulgent there. They know shlokas. I spent like a couple of hours. The way they received me, even like 7-8 years old, when we were going, they're doing kirtan. It was it was out of the world. The kind of Vaishnava etiquette they were taught. I was told, the devotee who was running the institute, he is a software engineer. He gave up everything, and he told these boys they can live by themselves by the age of 14, because they will be trained in all kinds of skills, whatever they want, right? With very focus. I felt very good after visiting that place. Those kids were amazing, really. Even the BMC Bhaktivedanta Modern School, where most of the devotees keep their kids, this is fantastic, out of the world. Everything they do is done with a lot of thought. I went to their kitchen. You'll be surprised, the kitchen is run on firewood, and you wouldn't see any kind of smoke anywhere. It's all covered with mud. The pots they can make in one go, they can cook for 6,000 or 7,000 people. It's a different level of engineering there. How they move the vessels. It's all, you won't see like, total mechanistic arrangement, but you feel very sattvic, but still at the same time done with firewood. And I felt like, it might be more expensive than gas. I was informed that the cost of this firewood is about 1/10 of gas. 1/10, literally. So that's how much efficient this is. Even though we think firewood is polluting and all, but they run with firewood the entire kitchen. They cook for every day. They cook for about 300 because there are at least 200 brahmacharis and there is school and everything. And they are so planned in the even so organized in kitchen. I went there to see how they how the devotees cook. They just tell the number of people who will be eating the meal, like 300, and the entire menu comes exactly. The recipe comes. Okay, to make this khichdi, you need to put 5 cups of this, 2 cups of this, 3 cups of this salt, like that. Anybody can go and just go follow the the recipe and cook it. So very well organized. Yeah, and I met. So the way they preach also was another different level of experience. So there, the Pune has about 20 engineering colleges, 18 or 20, and one of the engineering college, the director of the engineering college is a devotee. He's an initiated devotee. He's the head, and a lot of devotees work there too. Right? So as soon as the kids join in the first year engineering, there is some orientation session, right? Like any college, they will have an orientation session. In that, they do one-time program related to spirituality from Iskcon, done by this director himself. So everybody listens, and about 200 people or 300 people, attend that, and out of which about maybe like 50 or 60 people get impressed and they continue. They'll have separate programs afterwards, and that's how they continue. The spiritual life starts in first year engineering itself for most of the kids here, most of the engineering students there. And the director is so prominent. His students are all either directors or in deans in various other engineering colleges there. And so he does another orientation program where about 700 students from all the engineering colleges join, and he does similar program for them there. And from there, about hundreds of students continue after that. So easily a few hundred engineering students every year, they actually start their spiritual journey because of these programs. They have a lot of satellite bases in various engineering colleges, and there is a brahmachari who goes and takes care of this place. They'll have some kind of a arrangement where about 10 to 15 devotees can stay, and they will have all the spiritual programs from morning till evening, and also they continue studying it. So like that, a lot of arrangements were made where students can thrive spiritually in various engineering colleges in Pune. So the congregation size is about 7,000-8,000. And many devotees just stay around this place. See, this is accommodation where a lot of devotees stay. I heard about 600 devotees stay in the vicinity of the temple, and many of them actually attend Mangalarti every single morning. So that's why I said like about 700 to 800 devotees attend every day in Mangalarti. And above that, in the morning at 7 o'clock, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu goes for Sankirtan in each of the buildings where devotees stay. So he goes there, and in the basement where the cars are parked, he does a Sankirtan just around the place, just purifying the place. He does this in all the apartments where devotees stay. So kind of auspiciousness giving to the places, right? So he does that for all the devotees, because they have come so close to the temple. It's kind of reciprocation from the Lord and the devotees here. So they do Nagar Sankirtan every single day. I went there with Radhesham Prabhu one day.
Prabhuji, is this the same apartment where Parmanand Prabhu is living?
Yeah, I think it is behind this, not this one, but the one behind. Yeah, Paraman Prabhu stays here. So I went to his place as well. Yeah, it was very nice place. Yeah, this is Balaji Temple. Every day you see exquisite decorations there. This is Gurukula. Very blissful faces you will see here. Yeah, those are some of the experiences I had. And then we also went to Simhachalam. I didn't put that in the pictures. That was my last site of pilgrimage this year.
Simhachalam Narsimha.
The Narsinghya of Simhachalam. It is second permanent temple after Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. We had a very short darshan because it was very late in the evening. Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I learned a lot about Vaishnava care, especially in NVCC Pune. The way they interact, yeah, the way they are so organized, it was just amazing, just out of the world.
Maybe we can bring those kind of things into
Yeah.
our congregation.
Yeah. So the day I went, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu announced in the temple that special guest of Radhesham Prabhu is here today. Like that.
Very well.
It was, I felt very awkward because there were so many senior devotees there, who are all my counselors and all. I met my counselor there. But Radhesham Prabhu was so kind. It is mainly because of his nature. It's not about me there. It's really because of his way of receiving guests. That's what I understood from that incident. And then he planned whole day for me, like where I will visit. He made sure every time he would inquire whether I had prasadam, whether I had good rest. Before leaving, he would invite to his room and present us some gifts, and also present greeting cards as a gift and invite us again. Same thing with Gaurang Prabhu also. I felt like what we did for when Prabhu came, I felt like we didn't treat that much really. And he garlanded us, and every day he was giving, arranging Mahaprasadam for us, especially in Pune. Every day Mahaprasadam of Sri Radha Vrindavan Chandra was sent to me. It was like such care, every detail he planned. And I didn't do that much when he was here because frankly, I didn't know that much care should be given to, Vaishnava care means that is the level. Yeah. So much to learn from the Vaishnavas there. Very mature, very organized. So Janmashtami planning was happening. I felt, it was very wrong time to go there because they are extremely busy. And out of that, devotees have to take time out for me and, serve me. That I felt very awkward. But I frankly had very good experience, having celebrated Janmashtami there. Yeah, it was, and I gave a class to the Gurukula boys there. By the way, I was trying to focus on lessons from various pastimes of Bhagavatam. That was the topic we had, and I would inquire. They would tell so many lessons. Some of the lessons, I had to learn from them. I told the same, I'm actually learning from you all because they're all very well trained boys, those boys of Gurukula. We would derive a lot of lessons from various pastimes of Lord Krishna, all types of pastimes. But they are so good with such engaged. Some of the children were actually, some of the kids were children of preachers. They were so learned. I felt so good about the way children were raised in India, especially devotee children. Yeah, overall, that's my experience. If you have any questions, we can discuss.
Amazing, Prabhuji. I know you shared some of these things, but this is a lot more detail that you shared. Thank you for, and I think you forgot to talk about your final dham, which is Samamish Dham.
Jai, of course, Samamati is the highest dham for us. Yeah. The main energy
Yeah.
from here. And Radhesham Prabhu appreciated Harilash Maharaj again there. The way Maharaj does the programs here is just the just the example of how a single man can do so much. That's what he says always. With strong desire, how in a very powerfully materially surcharged area, right, like Seattle, to bring out such a beautiful temple with so many devotees. He praised Harilash Maharaj, and he again want to come next year and meet him. He wanted Maharaj to give a class to Pune devotees. I need to work on it. One thing I need to still haven't worked on. I wanted the festivals to finish and then we can do that. Yeah. So any other Sneha Mataji? Have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Aman and Sneha. Thank you for the beautiful description of this of your trip. I think it was very inspiring for us. So we just had a quick question on how many days would you recommend for Mayapur Dham and for GEV?
So if you go for 3 days, Prabhu,
Uh-huh.
You feel sufficiently surcharged there. If you go for 2 days, you might feel a little less, speeded up. But 3 days and above, if you have more days, you can go there. But at least you should go for 2.5, 3 days. That way you really feel, you experience the place.
I see.
Yeah.
This is for both the Mayapur as well as the GEV.
Yeah,
I see.
I recommend. Then you can go for a tour, in each of these places to some places around, right?
Yeah.
One day focus on the main temple. One day you can go around places. One day, just a buffer time, right? You can go around also. Third day too.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Anything else? Anybody?
Thank you for sharing a very wonderful experience, Prabhu. I've been to Mayapur and GEV. It is a very beautiful place, and you described so deeply. I can remember few experiences, but when I'm not able to go to all places in the GEV because I was there only for a day. But yeah, Prabhu, the Vrindavan, and then Govardhan Parikrama there, Yamuna Aarti, yes, it's it's too much of a blessing there to receive in a one short time. Yes, and yes, we could able to do the Go Seva there because they allow guests to do Go Seva if they are interested. Yes, so it was very, very wonderful, and you're right. How they treat Vaishnavas is out of the world. How they treat everybody with so much respect. They go beyond. They don't care about themselves. They go to treat the other person so nicely.
That's true. That is Vaishnavism. That is Vaishnavism.
Yes.
Prabhuji, if you want to visit GEV, then at least 3 days required, Prabhuji, GEV itself.
3 days, bro. 3 days, yeah.
3 days GEV.
Best thing is you should visit all the 3 places. GGV, you should also visit Pune because they're all not too far. that's what I would recommend. Aman Prabhu, you should also try that. Pune, you can just visit for 1 day. One day is also fine, but definitely a place to go and see Pune, and also, if possible, Chowpatty, because when you GV is about 1 hour, so 2-hour drive from the airport, and from there you can, when you come back, you again have to, it's not too far from the city, Chowpatty. You should definitely visit that.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, we will try to definitely plan for that. We have about a week or so in Bombay. So, yeah.
Pune is like only 3-hour local train, 300 rupees. That's it. You can just go, and it's fantastic place. You should definitely visit the NVCC temple there. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Awesome. Anything else? Okay, thank you all. It's already 4 p.m. We'll connect back next week and continue Bhagavatam studies. I hope it inspired some of you to go visit these places.
Prabhuji, thank you so much, Prabhu. So inspiring, Prabhuji. All the pastimes and very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much for sharing.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for sharing, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.